Well, folks, it is a new day, which brings new news, and I have it coming in hot for you. Today, we are bringing a team up that no one saw coming. Today, we got news that we're getting a partnership, quite possibly, between Hulk Hogan and Ben Affleck. Now, granted, I say partnership, it's not exactly that, but I'll let you know in just a few. And also, I've got some popcorn bucket news because obviously this is the year or multiple years of popcorn bucket news. It just never seems to stop coming. So let's go ahead and dig into it. As always, make sure to subscribe first and foremost to Criticalist Cast and like, comment, all that fun stuff because it helps us a ton. And as always, make sure to visit criticalist.com, go to the website, or download the app in Android and Apple stores. We are an entertainment reviewing platform. But on to the news. The news here is actually that there is a film being made about a book that I had no idea existed and have never heard of. But basically, the deal is that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's company, Artist Equity, is going to be working on this film. Now, the film that the book is based off of is a mouthful of a name of a movie, which I am going to go ahead and read right here, which is Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk, Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue. That is the name of the film, the name of the book, which this film is going to be based off of. I am curious what the actual name of the film will be, because it's obviously not going to be that. It sounds like it is going to be something surrounding Gawker in itself. So I'll go ahead and read the article here, which was posted on IGN, which was the first place I saw it, which says, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's Artist Equity is working on a movie that will tackle controversial former wrestler Terry Bollea. I've never actually heard his real name, I don't think, ever in my life. Because, let's be honest, he's Hulk Hogan. And if you don't know who Hulk Hogan is, then, well, you probably weren't alive in the 90s, because anybody who was knows who this dude is. You know, wrestler extraordinaire, the mustachioed man of mystery, you know, all of this blonde hair. It was just, he was a lovely character back in the 90s. And my son has an action figure of him and plays with him all the time now, which is just, I find ridiculous and really funny. But it says this is going to be about his legal battle against Gawker Media. And Gawker Media was a one of these rag sites that just stirs up crap, and, you know, sometimes they'd hit on gold and sometimes they wouldn't, and basically there was a fallout between them. So as reported by Variety, Artist Equity's work on the film is underway following an acquisition of a screenplay written by Charles Randolph. The Big Short and Bombshell is the films that he was writing before. And this is actually fantastic news, I think, as far as who's writing this, because if you've seen The Big Short specifically, I think that this type of film is suited well to that type of storytelling. That movie was about something that could have been extraordinarily uninteresting that was made interesting. So it says the project is in active development under the name Killing Gawker. So there's the name of the film for you there. And is set to be directed by Good Will Hunting alum Gus Van Sant. This is the other big piece of news here, and why I had this other article pulled up by comingsoon.net, because basically Gus Van Sant is sounding like he's going to be the director attached to this film. And if you know anything about Gus Van Sant, you know, his films vary as far as the level of love that they get, but they tend to get a lot of conversation going and critical praise, especially with his older films. But, you know, he's been around forever. He's been putting out tons of stuff. Some are big hits, some are not so much. So I'm interested to see, with him being attached, how this will end up going. So outside of that, it says Killing Gawker is based on the book Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue by Ryan Holiday. Its major players are listed in the title, and according to rumors initially shared by Jeff Snyder, in Snyder newsletter, Affleck will be portraying Hulk Hogan. So there's the news, is that Ben Affleck is going to play Hulk Hogan. And I think that in itself is pretty awesome. I would just love to see him in that character. I think he's a big dude anyways. It would work well for him to play a character like this. It'd be pretty funny to see him blonde. We've seen that recently as well, but with the mustache, the hair, the whole thing, it would just be entertaining. However, it's unclear if Affleck or his frequent collaborator, Damon, will appear in the movie, as no casting information has been confirmed. But there are a lot of things surrounding this. I've read multiple articles, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like Ben Affleck is going to be playing Hogan, and then Damon is probably going to be playing Peter Thiel. Now, if you don't know who Peter Thiel is, he is basically a one of these tech moguls who has leaned into politics and is basically becoming he's become a personality of late, which is very interesting. He's typically identifies as a libertarian, but he wades into politics. He helps people out. This dude's got a lot of money. Interesting thing too is he's a gay dude, which is doesn't play into the current political structure with him being more of like a libertarian / right-ish type person. But everything that I've read about this book is interesting too, because this could be hyper politicized, this movie in general, because of what happened with Hulk Hogan. Because basically, the story here is that back in around like 2017, he had a sex tape, and there was also him saying a lot of very inflammatory things, possibly racist things. I've never heard, I didn't even realize this had happened. I might have heard about it back in the day, just didn't really care a whole lot. But basically, they ran a story about it, and Peter Thiel, I think from what I gather, helped him. And basically what it says is Gawker's legal troubles began when it published a sex tape featuring Hogan, an act that he quickly moved to fight back against. The resulting suit, which investor Peter Thiel backed, led to the wrestler winning a total of $140 million from the media company in 2016. Gawker filed for bankruptcy shortly after, though a relaunch was attempted in 2021. The site was shut down again in 2023. So basically, Artist Equity has not revealed like a production schedule. Obviously, the announcers are not, or the actors are not officially announced, but fingers crossed that both of them are playing both of these people. They tend to be involved with a lot of the stuff that their film company puts out, so this could be cool. I think that this will be a fun movie that I would definitely check out. And like I said, it sounds like it has the possibility to be a slightly less interesting story that is made interesting. And it's all about how these guys handle it. And I think that these two tend to be a little bit more politically intelligent, I guess is the best way to put it. And I would trust them to handle this over a lot of other people, because there is some politics surrounding this. And, there's a lot of things that try and like pair Peter Thiel to Gamergate, and Gamergate was blown into this whole thing that it shouldn't have been, and just there's so much surrounding this that I am very interested to see how they paint Thiel, how they paint Hogan, how this whole, and Gawker in general. Supposedly the book basically does not grovel at the knees of Gawker, which a lot of the media would do. So I am curious to see how this is handled and what they do going forward. So we'll keep an eye out for Killing Gawker, because this could be pretty cool. Now, the last little piece of news that I was going to talk about is the Beetlejuice popcorn bucket. Now, if you can see here, Geeks and Gamers have been showcasing some of the other popcorn buckets that have come out lately, because if you've missed out on the current trend, it's basically just that really there's just a lot of popcorn buckets that look like you could put a specific bodily member, we'll say, into. So this was the Dune popcorn bucket, and obviously it's suggestive at best. And then we had the Wolverine one, which leaned into the joke even harder, giving us Wolverine's mouth here wide open, and it was designed by Deadpool. Now, the Beetlejuice popcorn buckets. This first one, pretty cool. Now, also, it seems like all they have announced currently is the Regal buckets for Regal Theater. So I am curious to see if we get more Beetlejuice buckets for other things. So basically, we have one bucket here with the sandworm, and obviously, we already got a sandworm bucket, but this one is kind of got a cooler look to it, honestly, but obviously it's due to the design of this. Now, they also have this book, which, like, I guess this isn't that cool. I mean, I know it's from the movie, but, like, who wants to put their popcorn in that? I don't know. This one's a bit cooler. It's a gravestone. So those three have been released, and also we have the Alien ones as well. So Alien Romulus is right around the corner, and they have announced their popcorn buckets too. Now, these are interesting. We've got a face hugger here, which is wrapped around a more traditional, looks like possibly metal popcorn bucket, which could be neat. And then that one was going to be for AMC. Now, we have one for Cinemark, which is the head, the alien head, which is pretty cool. The face, not bad looking, and you can shove popcorn into its head. And then we have one for Regal, which is very similar, but a different design. And I actually think I like this one better, the Regal one better than the AMC one, because the teeth actually are textured and got some depth to them. So anyways, that's all of your popcorn bucket news, because that's what you really come here for, is to know what kind of popcorn buckets are coming out. But They seem to be all the rage these days, and it makes sense. Theaters haven't been doing well. They're wanting to drum up, just a news cycle, attention, whatever. So it would make sense that they would lean into all of this stuff right now. But that's it for the news today. And as always, like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and visit criticalist.com. Come and leave us a review and let us know what you have been enjoying lately. And we will see you back here again tomorrow. Later, folks.